at this point, you have added your dimensions and are most likely adding the text in the center of the drawing. Simple floor plan, scale 1/2 of an inch equals 1 foot 0 inches. I'm just going to start the recording here to remind you how to control your text height. So I'm inside the multi-line text of the words I typed in, and I'm going to set the height. So I'm going to highlight the top line, and I've already underlined it, and the directions say to set this at 6 inches tall, so you would type in 6 inches here and hit enter. And though it looks very large like that, when I close the text editor, you'll see the size. Right there is the other row of text, which is at its regular size I typed. I got to change that to 3 inches also. So let me get back into the text command. Look for this right here. Highlight. And change it to 3 inches. Okay, there it is right there. Close. I'll close the text editor right there. And now you can see the information. I kind of see that I want an extra space. I'm going to add an extra space. Make it look a little bit nicer. And that's it right there. I'm going to remove this image that I used to help me draw. Let me move this into place. Clean up the rest of my drawing. Alright, so there's everything located and dimensioned. Remove that. Here's our completed simple floor plan. From here, we're going to place it in a title block. When I go to layout 1, I see I don't have a title block, but I could see a viewport that AutoCAD has already made for me. When I go to my title block drawing, I can see my title block that I want to use. So what I'm going to do is switch to the layout 1 tab. This viewport already exists, so I'm going to use that to my advantage, but it looks like I need a viewport layer. So I'm going to make a new viewport layer called viewport. And I'm going to make that a color orange. Color I usually don't use very often, something that's bright however. So that layer has been created, so I could take this viewport and change the layer that it's on, so I don't have to recreate one using the mview command. I'll make it a little bit smaller for now, so I can bring the title block in. Hit the escape key, switch to my other drawing, select my title block, right click, clipboard, copy with base point. I already selected everything, so I just got to pick this base point here. Now I have a copy. I'll switch back to my simple floor plan. There's the drawing right here in model tab. In the layout 1 tab, I'll go to right click, clipboard, paste, and paste my title block in. If you recall from the last video, I had you make the title block a little too large. Let's verify its size here. This obviously you can see is very large compared to the because of the dimensioning settings are set to architecture, so I just zoom out to verify my numbers. 10.5, 8.5 by 11. The title block needs to be reduced to 10 inches from 10.5. It was too large. I should have made that change here before I used it. I recommend you make it 10 inches wide before it's used. So let's take care of that now. I'll move this over 1/2 inch, and then I'll trim the extra line you see here, and move my text using the move command. And now I have a 10-inch wide title block, which should fit. I'm going to remove this title block and paste the new one I changed. The new title block with the 10-inch wide. So select everything, right click, clipboard, copy with base point, pick the lower left corner. Switch to here, right click, clipboard, paste, and paste it in here. Now that that's taken care of, I can grab my viewport and place it on the opposite two corners here. Now, The scale of the drawing is 1/2 of an inch equals 1 foot 0 inches. I'm going to need to scale the drawing. To scale the drawing, I need to double click inside the viewport or type in MS. I'm inside the viewport. Let's take the grid off. Now, I'm inside my viewport, as you can see. To scale the viewport, I type in Z enter, E enter. Now to scale to 1/2 XP, I need a scale factor. My scale factor, by using my PDF document that lists the different size scales, will tell us that the scale factor is going to be 24. So I type in Z enter, 24XP enter, and it got super large. So what's going on? Did I use the wrong scale factor, or is it applied differently when you're scaling a drawing? Z enter, 1XP enter, can't see nothing. Z enter, E enter, here it comes back. So, how do we use a scale factor of 24 when we're scaling a drawing? You have to use the inverse, or 1/24. Z enter, 1/24 XP, just like you see there, enter. You see it adjust? It adjusted, however, the drawing is so large it doesn't fit in our title block just perfectly. It does, but the dimensions do not on the left hand and right hand side. So what we'll do here is make some adjustments to our drawing, switch to Model tab. I'll bring in any dimensions that are on the outside. In this case, that one and this one. And I'll come back to here, and now everything is fitting nicely in the drawing. So let's review the scale factor again. MS, enter, Z enter, E enter, then Z enter 1/, the scale factor, which is 24 XP, and it fits nicely. And we'll add the new scale. 1/2 of an inch equals 1 foot 0 inches. I'll move the date out of the way, and you will do the same. After you update your title block with the information you need, we need to print. In AutoCAD, it's called Plot. Click on Plot. This pop-up window will show up. Once again, if this little arrow here is not maximize, you can see all the information here. I'm going to ask you to print in black and white. AutoCAD calls that monochrome. You choose your printer, or if you're going to print a PDF, whatever paper size defaults, leave it at that. Your plot scale will stay as 1:1. Extents, make sure it says 1:1. Center the plot, apply to layout, monochrome, preview to see if it's all there. Everything seems to be okay, and you can print it. Let me click on cancel, otherwise you will click OK and give it a file name like this. A window will pop up. You give it a file name, as you can see there, PDF document, and save it. If something doesn't appear, this is what's going on. In your layers, you accidentally activated a button here that deactivates printing. For example, let me deactivate the annotations. That little icon will show up. That means don't print. It's a feature that can cause problems, and especially for a novice that does not know much about AutoCAD and not know that button exists, and you accidentally activate it without knowing it, you'll see situations like this. See, there's no text. Not a good thing. If you want to print in color, you use what's called AutoCAD, and now you'll see the color. Alright. Switch it to monochrome, print a PDF, apply to layout, save the file, and then send me that PDF document. That's the end of this video.